Hello, and welcome to 2Mew's first ever episode of Greenstone. This is a interesting little series I'm going to do, all revolving around leaf block mechanics and redstone, hence the name Greenstone. So, right here, you can see the leaves, and once you actually place wood next to it, it updates the leaves such that we get a redstone output via the observer. So I like using these to create some weird mechanisms, and we'll see a few of them as we get along. But one of the major things with this, if we look at these first two lights, they actually don't work exactly like they should. See, on the place, it's alright, but on this break, it's very noticeable with this one, less so with this one. They actually stay on and turn off incorrectly. So here I have a little example of how this works. By pressing this, we can see their outputs, and we can see that they just keep on changing in a weird way. But they'll return to their original sequence. So this would be pulse 1 on the placing of a block right there, wooden block, and it can be with any wooden block as long as it's a log, so stripped or not. But as we look, we can see all of the different formats, with 4 being that same old resting phase. Now, you're probably wondering what this second one over here is. Well, if we place a log, we can cause one of these updates to occur, like normally, with the original 4. But if we place a log and then actually activate it by moving the log instead of completely disconnecting it like we were over there, via the log coming in and being completely removed, like so. If we have the log touching and moving further or less far along the circuit, it'll change our output. And it will stay in that one phase where it just switches back and forth. Let me show that a little better. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we don't get that mess that happens right here when we completely remove the log. That all occurs. But if we place a log, let's actually move it along. We got this one guy over here. If we switch where he's located, you can see it being that different direction over there, and then continue the redstone placing, you can see that it never actually unsyncs from one another. So we're able to increase the length of the signal from 6 to 7 in terms of our redstone signal output. It's pretty interesting. Oh gosh. Let's just fix this all up. Alright. If we move on to here, we can see that leaves actually follow chains and can be placed in any general direction. If I place this here, you can see that it follows this, comes up here, removes this log from that circuit because they cannot interact diagonally, And then with the observers observing the leaves changing, they activate this piston, moving that entire wall. Now, the main thing to know is that these can only reach up to 6 normally, 7 if we increase the length. And it's not even really 7 because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just that we've moved the block along here so that that 7th, in a sense, starting from our 0 right here to 6, this would normally not activate, if that makes any sense. Such that this normally happens. So that second to last one, if you look at that one, it never changed. But once I start powering, that second to last one is moving. And all the logs stay in their respectful spots. There is one change, however. When we move from this spot to this spot, you'll see that these 3 act differently on the actually retraction of this block. It happens in a wave when extending, and this first, second, third, fourth, fifth is done. Now, you can see here, you can actually use note blocks as our buttons, and you get these interesting little circuits that can happen. What in the world? Okay. But you can see the whole system works weird, and that's because we have observers on every single spot. Just letting you know, all leaves back here, all observers throughout the entire thing, pistons, and then wood. The reason we're getting this ring shape, kind of like a diamond shape, is because of how the observers will send a signal to this piston and this piston. But if we change that such that there are holes throughout, you can change the shape that is produced. Now, also, I used the 7 block situation, but if we start removing, we can get really weird shapes. Such as the play button and what I like to call the fish. I like the play button a little bit more, kind of like a YouTube thing. But that's all I really wanted to show in this little video. And if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe buttons, and I will see you on a later greenstone video. Bye-bye!